You guys to do is if you want to use a ruler, you can. I do want your voices to be off, which would be great. I'm going to start really straightforward here.
Do we have to count the exact square, or do we just...
So, give me a second there, Kevin. I'm just going to do one quadrant to start with. A number of you guys were here and saw me working with an entire Cartesian plane. But if you recall, for people who weren't here yesterday, this is the y-axis, and this is the x-axis. You're drawing this, yep, because this is part of our lesson right now, so ideally you're following along. And this is, of course, 0 being our origin. And I'm going to use the grid paper to put in my units along the y-axis, and then, and then along the x-axis.
How many are along the x-axis?
Maybe try to always do about between 8 and 10 would be good. Now, because this is the first quadrant, quadrant number 1, that means all the x coordinates on here are going to be positive, and all my y coordinates are also going to be positive. So no matter what I do in this quadrant, everything is going to be positive. So we're going to do a really simple shape in here. So I'm going to choose my shape to be, I'm just going to do a small shape to begin with. I'm going to put it right in here. And if you're wondering, what I've done is I've done A. I'm labeling them here. A is at 4, 4. That's x first, y second. Always remember, x is first, y is second. So whenever I'm doing my coordinates, I'm always putting the x first. So if some of you want to look up here, B, what I would do is I would go 1, 2, 3, 4 along the x-axis. So I know that that's 4. And then I'm going to go up the y-axis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that gets me to the y-axis. And then for C here, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 along the x-axis, and then I go up 4 to the, y-axis. Okay, it's supposed to be a 4. Zoom in a bit more here. All right. So that's my original shape, A, B, and C. And some of you guys are still catching up to draw it, which is fine. You guys ready? You guys drawing it? Still need a minute?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are they in brackets? What are the coordinates?
Because
Why are they in brackets?
that's a good question. I think it's for organizational purposes.
Is it like mandatory to put them in brackets? Just
Organizational purposes.
I think for organization, but you don't have to, I suppose. It's a good question. Okay, so we're now moving on to, is everything okay?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So we're moving on to translating this. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to give you guys a translation. We're going to translate -3, which would be x, and we're going to translate -2, which is y. So what that means is I'm going to move it along the x-axis first, 3 backwards, -3, and then I'm going to bring it down 2. So that means this whole shape is going to go 3 this way, backwards, and then 2 down. So you'd find A, you go 1, 2, 3, and then you go down 1, 2. So my new A, which is called A1, belongs there. And then B does the same thing. I go -3, 1, 2, 3, and then I go down 2, 1, 2. So this line here becomes this line here. So B becomes B1. And then C does the same. -3. 1, 2, 3, and then 2 down. 1, 2. And it becomes C1. There we go. You all right, Cameron?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a translation, and we'll call that number 1. So I did that, I modeled that one with you. What I'm going to get you guys to try for a second is another translation. Before I show you the other translation, sometimes mathematicians will write it this way. They'll write the translation like this. They'll say x minus 3, and then they'll say y minus 2. That's another way of writing it. So you might see that sometimes in textbooks. You might see that sometimes on a test or an assessment. I personally prefer this way because that's telling me what the translation is. But anyway, so try this one on your own right now without me doing it. I'll do it in a minute. But the translation for number 2, which means instead of it being A1, B1, and C1, it would be A2, B2, and C2, right? So, because you're still going to base it from your original shape. So based on where the shape is here, can you do this translation? So you're going to do 1 and -4. So move the original shape from here and do this translation, 1, -4. Okay, so you guys have, raise your hand if you still need a couple more minutes here, yeah? Okay, so you guys are trying it out? Okay, so I'll start. Some of you might have already finished, some of you are still in the middle of it, but I'll just start my brainstorming here. So A, looks like I move it over 1 in a positive direction, because this is positive, and from what we learned back in the fall, this is negative. So I'm going to go 1 over, and then I'm going to go 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my new A, A2 is here. B, I'm going to go over 1, and then I'm going to go 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this becomes my new line. And then C, 1 over, and then 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4. So my newest shape becomes A2, B2, and C2. So that's where that belongs. Okay. So, is everyone good with that?
Yes.
Yes?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording on that then and do another one in a second. Okay.